Families do not consist of a child and parents alone, but a larger system that may include siblings, grandparents, or step relations. The dynamic interplay among these varied individuals means that even children within the same family experience different environments. Siblings. There is no typical sibling relationship because families come in all shapes and sizes, and children can occupy many different positions in the sibling hierarchy. Just over half of families with children in Canada in 2016 had multiple children. As of 2024, the average number of children per woman in Canada is 1.26. Currently, only about 6% of families in Canada and the United States have 4 or more children. Siblings spend more time with each other than with their parents or even peers. The quality of sibling relationship can vary dramatically, from very close to quite hostile, depending on the children's temperaments. Siblings tend to get along best when they have similar temperaments, but if one has a difficult one, this can predict eventual difficulties in their relationship. Parental qualities are also crucial, both in what they model directly to their children and in their own relationship. The most problematic situation arises where a child feels, whether correctly or not, that they are being treated unfairly. Different treatment by parents is a predictor of difficult sibling relationships. However, it's the child's interpretation of the treatment rather than mere existence of different treatment that seems to be most important. Sibling rivalry, feelings of competition, resentment, and jealousy between siblings often begin with the birth of the second child, as the mother's time and positive attention towards the first child decrease notably. Over time, sibling conflicts tend to become more verbal and less physical. Generally, the relationship evolves from an equal dynamic dominated by older child to a more balanced situation where both siblings can support and nurture each other. By adolescence, children develop peer relationships outside the family that can serve both emotional and practical purposes, reducing the need for sibling interactions. Growing up with siblings can have several positive effects on a child's development. Having siblings is associated with accelerated development of various aspects of theory of mind, which is the ability to understand others' thoughts and feelings. Siblings also help children learn social norms and expectations, acquire general behaviors, and improve their relationship with peers. Grandparents and other family members. Grandparents are almost always a part of a children's life, so the extent and nature of their involvement can vary widely. Their role often increases in single-parent households and is typically more extensive with grandmothers. In some cases, especially when the mother is a teenager or in cultures other than European American, grandparents may even become the primary caregivers. Generally, having grandparents around tends to enhance child's development outcomes. In many cultures, the typical family structure is not the nuclear family but the extended family. This means that in addition to parents and children, there are often other adult relatives living together. Extended families are common in many parts of the world, and are associated with positive effects on children's development. Divorce. Around 40% of marriages in Canada end in divorce, and about 30% of Canadian children experience effects from it. When discussing the effects of divorce, it's important to remember two things. First, the effects mentioned are average outcomes. Individual cases can differ. Second, we must compare the outcome of divorce to the alternative of parents staying together in an unhappy, conflict filled marriage. The first year after a divorce is often a time of anxiety, depression, and conflict between parents and children. Preschool children are particularly vulnerable because they lack the cognitive resources to understand the reasons for divorce and may assume they are somehow to blame. For many, but not all children, divorce is a challenging experience with negative implications for development, even when it's a necessary choice. The difficulties vary based on the child's age and gender, the level of pre-divorce conflict, economic changes, the parenting style of each parent, and the nature of custody arrangement. In primary school, children often show a decline in school performance and an increase in aggressive behavior, particularly in boys. In adolescence, negative effects might include an increased likelihood of early sexual activity, substance abuse, school dropout, and delinquent behavior. Boys often react to their parents' divorce with increased aggression and deviant behavior, while girls may respond with sadness and self blame. Although these effects lessen over time, children whose parents divorce are at risk for lower self esteem, academic struggles, and relation problems. The immediate effects of divorce tend to lower over time, and most children adjust to the new situation after 2 to 3 years. About two-thirds of children whose parents divorced suffer no long-term adverse effects. If mother can maintain an authoritative style of parenting, their children are more likely to adapt successfully following divorce. Shared parenting arrangements that allow children to have ongoing contact with their father have also been shown to benefit children's adjustment. About 75% of divorced parents remarry, forming blended families with children from previous relationships. Initially, adjusting to new family situation can be difficult for children and the step parent, especially during early adolescence and for girls. An increasing number of single parents were never married rather than divorced. Children of parents who never married are more disadvantaged if born to teenage mother than older professional single mother by choice. Teenage mothers face the challenge to negotiate the new role of mother with their own developmental needs, often in the face of financial and educational limitations. Despite these challenges, teenage mothers who, among others, receive support from family members, have positive role models, and a confident attitude are remarkably resilient. Most adoptions are of children to whom the parents have no biological ties, including an increasing number of adoptions involving children from other countries. Adoption per se does not predict developmental differences, but certain groups of children are at greater risk of adjustment and behavioral problems. Often, this increased risk is due to pre-adoption factors such as age at adoption and adverse health. However, adoption may decrease the risk these children would have faced they have remained in adverse environments. The numbers and percentages of gay and lesbian parents is unknown, although 17% of female and about 3% of male same-sex couples in Canada reported having children. Having gay or lesbian parent does not result in academic, self-esteem, social, or peer problems. It also does not result in differences in gender role development.